Well, good morning, everyone. This is sort of a different view of folks. Good morning, people online. I'm happy to be a part of the service today and thankful to be asked to be part of this nature service. I just wanted to start by acknowledging the land where we are and taking a moment to think about the people who have lived at this place before we were here and for many years before this, and to think of the people who will come after us. When asked to speak at this service on the mysteries of nature unveiled, I was excited to share my passion and love for the outside world with you. I'd like to start by setting the tone and bringing you into that natural world. Then I'll tell you a little bit about myself and my relationship with nature, and then I'll leave you with a practice that you can do sometime this week or later today. So first, if you'd like to take a relaxing breath, and you can close your eyes or leave them open. Imagine the following: petals of a flower, the decorations on the wings of a moth, the softness of a furry leaf, the smell of wild sage, the skittering of quail through the chaparral, the sound of a babbling brook, the smell of earth after rain, the taste of tea made from collected plants, your five senses can help develop your sixth sense and connect you with nature in a deeper way. Now take another relaxing breath and slowly open your eyes if they were closed and become aware of the space you're in. A little bit about myself. I grew up in the mountains of Colorado. Hiking and camping were a regular part of our lives. My grandparents and parents loved to camp and be outdoors, and so we spent a lot of time outside growing up. When it was time for me to go to college, I looked at the different options, and I settled on UC Santa Cruz. If any of you have ever been there, you know that that's a beautiful campus located up in the Redwood Forest up in Santa Cruz, and just a short trip downhill to the ocean. So it was a perfect place for me to study ecology and botany. The first day of botany class, the teacher talked about the patterns in different types of flowers. And after class, I went home and looked at a specific plant and found that it was true. All the flowers on that type of plant had the same pattern. So I was pretty much hooked on botany. After college, I was lucky to get several different jobs working with plants, and I currently work in a job where I get to help people put together different projects to restore creeks and native plants. I like to camp a lot with my family, and for several years, my son and I were in a father-son camping program. Then a couple of years ago, I started looking for a way to deepen my spiritual life. In the summer of 2018, through a few different coincidences or synchronicities, or butt doofs as my family likes to call them, I found Questhaven. I was drawn to the natural setting, and I was amazed that there was a church with a square mile of nature around it. When I came through the gates, I read the sign that said, "This is a wilderness sanctuary," and a place to find God in nature. Last year, when Richard started the nature service, I found a spiritual way to relate to nature that I think had always been there for me, but the nature service provided a way to deepen this practice. I also enjoyed the relationships and friends that I made through that service. We would gather under the oak tree share some words from Flower A New House or another nature mystic, such as John Muir, and then stroll, saunter, walk, meander, or hike on one of the trails. We would either go as a group or we would go alone in separate directions. And we would spend the first part of the hiking in silence, and then usually have some reflection on what we had experienced. One Sunday, I went to Deer Springs. It's east of here, over the ridge, and I was on my own. As I came down the hill into the oak grove, I saw something out of my corner of my eye, and it was a white owl coming up and out of one of the oak trees. I'd probably startled it, but I could hear that silent whooshing of the owl's wings. And it was very, very moving. After the owl flew away, I found a place where I could sit quietly and just absorb what was around me. To me, this is an example of what it feels like to get to know God through nature. Like a shiver, a shape, or a sensation, or a sound. I'd like to share an entry from my journal and a poem that I wrote while I was out here. This is from February 2nd, 2020. It was Groundhog's Day. 10 a.m. at the Questhaven pond. I'm looking at the white blooming California lilac. The flowers are almost like snow covering the hills. There are thousands of sounds. Birds, crickets, crows, the buzz of insects. The grass in the pond is a beautiful green. My mind, body, spirit, and soul absorb the magical shower of nature. And this is a poem from the same day. Warm sun on my eyes, quiet crickets, distant woodpeckers. The wind blows up from the valley, south to north, across my arms. I'd like to leave you with an invitation to be with nature. I encourage you to take 15 or 20 minutes later today or sometime later this week to find a place outside or a bench to sit on. There's a lot of beautiful benches that we have recently around here at Questhaven, made by Larry, and probably others helped out. But find one of those benches or a bench at your house or in a park nearby and take time to go and sit. Close your eyes and listen to the sounds that are around you. Maybe take a notepad or something with you to write those sounds down. Close your eyes and listen again. Listen past those sounds and then past those sounds. After you've done this for a bit, maybe 5 to 10 minutes, make some more notes in your notebook or write a short reflection. Maybe a poem. Later, share it with someone. By inviting yourself into nature, giving yourself a prompt or reading a quote from a nature mystic, and settling in to listen and be still, you can open yourself up to the mysteries of nature. Nature can be a comforter, an inspirer, a listener. Thank you, and may the peace of nature be with you.